In this video, I want to show you the basic workflow for masking when the masking is easy. And here you see such an easy example, and it is easy because we have a good contrast between the foreground, the model, and the background, the green vegetation. So we have a good contrast here, we have a good contrast in the hair. If I zoom in, you see each hair is bright, the background is dark and green, and it is even, it's not having too many details, and that's perfect for a quick and dirty masking task. And the Docma Freistellen panel can help you with that. So first, of course, you choose to duplicate the layer and create a contrast layer to help you to evaluate the mask. And I would recommend not to use green again, because if I do that, the masking looks almost perfect. If I choose a one-click background removal, like this, and you would say, oh, that's quite impressive, but you see there is a green color cast still from the original background. So I would recommend to choose another color, maybe red, and then you see, well, it's not that perfect here, and if we zoom in, you see the eye isn't perfect either. So I would recommend to first go around the edges, try to see if you have to fix some of them, but it looks quite good in most cases here. Here we could shrink wrap the edge to get rid of this blue halo. The hair, of course, is not as good as it could be, but let's first fix the eye. So hold down the Alt key and click on the mask to show the mask, and here you see the problem. And then you choose white, and you choose a round brush, a round hard brush, like this one here in the fur and hair tab of the Docma Freistellen panel. And then you click once here with white color to get rid of those mistakes the algorithm has made. But you see also, if I again display the image, that the eyelashes are missing. And if I hold down Shift, you see these are the original eyelashes here. They are quite big, but I would not recommend to try and mask those original eyelashes because it will always look quite fake. I rather recommend to take the left eye here of her and mask those eyelashes and bring them over, or to even paint the eyelashes with the streaks brushes we have here in the Docma Freistellen panel. But that's another story. Let's try and fix the color cast we have here in the hair, and for that you go into the refine mode and you find the refine button here in the basics tab. Of course, you can always use the shortcut that Photoshop has already built in, Alt, Command and R for select and mask. You can also choose the menu here, but now that we have the Freistellen panel open, just click on refine, and now we are here. And in this there's one important option, and this is here down on the left, decontaminate colors. And with that function you can get rid of color casts like this here, the green, but it only affects semi-transparent pixels. So you wouldn't get rid of a color cast like this here where the pixels are totally opaque, but only in these areas. And to make some of these hairs semi-transparent, you should use the refine edge brush, make the brush tip a little bit bigger, and then just brush over those areas which you think are not as nice as they could be. So I paint over these areas where I see some green still, and you see the result is already very much improved, except here, there you see now some red through, but that's easily fixed with a default brush later in the mask. And up here we can do the same with a smaller brush, just paint over those edges. And I think that's okay. You can also try, if you want to keep the original eyelashes, to lower the transparency of this overlay and try and refine the original eyelashes, but it doesn't work because it is quite as dark as the background, as the original background, so you would fail. So here I choose Command and Z to undo that and fix the eye later in the process. Yeah, and then you can choose to decontaminate the colors. And now we have a look at another mode. Let's choose on black. And then you can see how this mode works. Now we have quite brittle and thin hair. And if I choose decontaminate colors, it looks much, much better. It's not always working, not for every hair type, but in this case, the improvement is tremendous, and I can leave this amount at 100 and click on OK. But make sure to have the right output set here. Now I have new layer with layer mask, and that's quite okay. So I click on OK, get my new layer, and the refined edges look really nice. One other thing I would recommend is to not try and improve the mask on such an artificial background with a solid color, but on the background you want to add in. So let's bring in the background I have planned for this image to get some mood, some sort of stylization that looks supernatural. Okay, I choose the Move tool, click into the image, up to the tab, into the image, hold down the Shift key to have the image centered, then zoom out, choose Command and T to transform the layer, hold down the Alt key, and then you can transform it and scale it up to the canvas size from the center. So now I hit enter and bring the sky below the masked layer. Yeah, and now you see we don't have to fix too much here anymore. And even the eye looks convincing. And you could have spent a lot of time optimizing the eye, painting the eyelashes and so on. Of course, if it's important, then you have to paint them in. But if you just want a quick and dirty compositing like this one, you are done. So my recommendation is like this, just to wrap it up. And I delete all these layers. You should first create a duplicate layer and a contrast layer with a proper color. Then use the one-click background removal for the top layer. And before optimizing the edges, bring in the new background. So click on the helping layer here, go into the image you want to use as a background. You can also copy this into the clipping board by using Command and C. Switch here to the original document and paste by Command V, and then choose Command and T to transform. That's it. And now you go into Select and Mask by clicking on the mask and choosing the Refine button by clicking on it. Yeah, and now you can here use the Refine brush to quickly paint over the details you want to improve. Just let us do this quick and dirty. Then you activate decontaminate colors. Like in this case, it's better. The result is better than without that option, so I choose it. I set the output to new layer with layer mask and click OK. And basically we are done with the exception of the eye. And you see, that is a problem with the color contamination if you don't fix semi-transparent pixels before you apply that color decontamination. And that's good if you have the original still in the background, then you can duplicate that layer or maybe just the eye by choosing it like this. Then press Command and J, drag this layer up here, create a clipping mask by holding down the Option key and clicking between those two layers like this. And now here I have the original eye back. So this is a basic workflow where you have a subject or a person that is having a good contrast on all edges to the background.